What's up, everybody? My name is Jeff, and today we are going to have some fun diving into RAKDOS Tempo, a new deck that I have absolutely been loving. And if you guys notice, my face first off isn't in the corner, and guess what? We're not in MTG Arena because my laptop broke. I, I went on a trip, so I've been in Missouri for the last it's been like a week and some odd days, and I did a bunch of videos in advance to make sure that I didn't have to do too much work out on while I was out on the trip, but I wasn't able to get everything done, and so I was planning, okay, I'll bring my laptop. I had done over 200 videos with that laptop beforehand, then I got a new computer, so it should work for 3 or 4 more videos. Well, it didn't. And so we are, this is what we got right now. This is all that I've been able to make work, is recording a website. That I can't record a game at the same time because it's just apparently too difficult to handle. And so I wanted to at least produce something for you guys. Sorry that it's not up to par with some of my other stuff. Some of you guys might like this more. Who knows? But if you guys, I'll try to at least get these ones done. The earliest I can get back to my computer is the 16th. So 4 more days here. So sorry, guys. Please forgive me and still love me. Don't unsubscribe. Anyway, yeah. So I did want to at least show you guys some decks that I've been playing, and some decks that I built that I'm actually really proud of. This one particularly, I've not really seen. A lot of people have been playing like RAKDOS, Aggro, RAKDOS type of stuff, but I've not seen a lot of people playing this deck, and it's just so stinking good. I mean, I guess I have run into it like once or twice. But there's so much value with RAKDOS right now. And the main reason why is the card advantage that you have with the adventure cards of Bonecrusher Giant and Murderous Rider, which I think are the 2 best adventure cards out there. I'll see if I can enlarge them, but I can't. Because, first off, they're removal spells, but they're removal spells with card advantage, because you get to do 2 things with this card, as long as you are using the removal side of it, or the damage side of it with Bonecrusher Giant. And the benefit here is when you're playing a tempo deck, especially RAKDOS, which typically doesn't have as good of card draw, or at least you're taking up too many slots for card draw, that you kind of lose a lot of your aggressiveness that you can have with this. And so this is really a very aggressive deck that just happens to have the ability to kind of play a tempo-y type of playstyle as well, where you're just removing, getting a couple things on the battlefield, keep getting in for damage, and kind of just trying to keep a constant stream of damage coming through to win the game. That's what I understand as tempo. I think it's a base off of like tempo. It goes aggro, tempo, mid range. That's what people told me. So that's what we're doing. Anyway, so I've been really liking this deck a lot, and I'll go into like another list here so you guys can see a little bit better exactly what's up. This is just the best visual that I could find on Aether Hub, which is awesome. And so with this deck, I've been really happy about it. So let me just jump into it real quick. If you guys want to check out the deck list for yourself, it's down in the description below. I'm going to jump into each of these cards and kind of show why I like it. I know a lot of you guys don't like that kind of instant DeckTech style of stuff, so if you guys want, totally fine. Go click on it. You can be out of here quick. But I do actually, this time I'm going to jump into why I built the deck the way that I did, going through all that kind of stuff. And I don't usually do that, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So Fervent Champion, first off, the 1-drops are Fervent Champion, 3 Fire Iron Mites, and 4 Knight of the Evening Legion. So yeah, 4 of these. And the nice thing is that we have a lot of knights, so Fervent Champion works really well in this deck, because not only do we have a bunch of the 1-drops, we also have our Stormfist Crusader, which is great for the card draw side of tempo, which also gets in more damage. So we get the same value there with Stormfist Crusader, which is awesome. It does give them a card as well, but it also makes them lose life, which is also good for us keeping on that constant flow of damage. So Stormfist Crusader, great in this deck. Also a Knight, which works really great with Fervent Champion. Getting in the extra point of damage on a menace creature has won me games. It's given me exactly lethal many times, and people forget about it. Where Fervent Champion, they think, okay, they're going to pump like something that we can block, but when it hits a Stormfist Crusader, also the menace does definitely play into it. And so really cool. We also have Murderous Rider, and I think those are all of the knights, but that's a ton of knights for having the value of just a +1. That's the only real thing that we give with knights, but it's helped so many times. Not only with that, but sometimes getting up that 4th point of damage to get the Knight of the Evening Legion counter, which of course you guys know Knight of the Evening Legion, if as long as we do 4 damage, or they've lost 4 life on that turn, the Knight of the Ebon Legion will get a counter at the end of turn. And so anyway, that does help out there as well. It's pretty nice. One of my favorite ways, plays is Knight of the Ebon Legion turn 1, Fervent Champion turn 2. We do have slow lands in this, which someone else had also told me that it's better to go 2-color instead of 3-color. But guess what, guys? 2-color actually has worse mana bases than 3 colors right now. It definitely has worse mana bases because we're having to jump into things like Fabled Passage, which is definitely worse than just playing all of the Shocklands. Shocklands are really painful, all that kind of stuff, yes. Typically, if you're going 3-color, you also have there's more options for better plays. You get more value overall than sticking with just 2 colors oftentimes. But Fabled Passage has been working for me. I did decide to go ahead and throw in 2 Bloodfilled Caves as well because I was noticing that if I didn't have the best thing here is have 1 red mana and 2 black. That's the best that you can have, and I was just not hitting enough of the consistent having dual colors, and so I decided to go ahead and throw 2 Bloodfilled Caves in, and now it's been working pretty consistently for me, if a little bit slower. But we are a tempo deck. We can still just hold up removal, get the remove stuff early game, and then get on all of our creatures and win that way as well. So it does work okay for us. But yeah, so next we have Foulmire Knight, which I've been in between on if this is the right card for this slot. But 3 mana to draw a card. We get some more card advantage. Also, Death Touch is really relevant. A 1 mana Death Toucher is just really powerful. It gets in some damage here and there. You know, if we do have Fervent Champion or whatever, there's just a lot of things that this can do. So it's been very useful for me. But I do feel like it's one of the weakest cards in the deck at the moment. I think that if not this one, then maybe Rick's Mighty Reveler, which is a great one of. If you do hit it late game and you get the spectacle with it, fantastic. If you are just having dead cards in hand and you need to get out another 2-body creature, you know, want to get rid of a land or something, then it's great for 2 mana. But I've not loved it, and that's why I think 1 mana is great. Just keeping that card advantage, getting down a body, great. Ingress Rampage, of course, is amazing here. Swordfish Crusader, we already talked about. Amazing card for this. One of the reasons this deck actually works. Bedevil, I'm debating if I could go up to 3 copies, but the mana demandingness of this card is pretty painful. It's pretty much just as demanding as Murderous Rider, though, because you know you're needing at least 2 mana for it, and if we're having something that's not black mana, it's going to be red mana, so you could get the Bedevil anyway. But you could at least cast this with 3 black mana, so there is that. But yeah, so the Bedevil has been really good at the fact that it can destroy artifacts as well. The Great Henge can come down every once in a while, so we do at least have some removal there for the artifacts with Ingress Rampage. So pretty good stuff. Bonecrusher Giant is so good. I think people are underplaying this even still, and just how much value Bonecrusher Giant is. It is so powerful. Legion War Boss. Just a really great one of. I could see myself taking out 1 Foulmire Knight for another Legion War Boss. That 3-drop slot has been really good for me, but we're pretty heavy on 3-drop slots on the 3-drop as well. We are pretty heavy on 1-drop as well, so I'm not sure. I think we're running 22 lands in the deck, 23. Which has been feeling pretty accurate here. Murderous Riders, because we end up playing multiple things on a turn, we're drawing enough cards that we can keep that up. Wrinkle also helps us draw cards. Theater of Horrors, also great, which again, Theater of Horrors has been great for card advantage. Also, being able to do the 1 point of damage, people tend to forget with the 4 mana to do 1 point of damage to an opponent, and guess what? That wins games pretty often for me. Spawn of Mayhem on the top end here with Wrinkle, and that pretty much sums it up. These are just Spawn of Mayhem, one of the best cards. It's the 3 mana 4/4 with our deck because we get Spectacle pretty often with it. If we don't, then it's just a good 4-drop. Very powerful. Something they have to deal with. It does damage every turn to each player. It starts growing if we are if we're losing at the time or if we've gotten down below 10. Which we do a lot of damage to ourselves. So against an aggro deck, it kind of depends on if we are on the play or not. But I've been about 60 to 70% against aggro. Against like Oko decks or anything like that, I'm about 80% with this deck. It just comes down to whether or not I kept a terrible hand or not. I've done that before where I've just drawn terribly and lost games. But for the most part, this deck wins. The only other thing I've really run into is like Simic Flash. Simic Flash is a little bit difficult for us to deal with. It kind of depends on if we are getting out enough value before they start countering our stuff, or if they are able to flash in things and we don't have the right kind of removal for it in hand. But for the most part, we can. I'd say we're about even with Simic Flash, or they may be a little bit more of an advantage against us. But other than that, this deck is good against just about every deck in the format. And so just because there's tons of value, it draws cards, puts out damage, we can be insanely aggressive with this deck and just get a lot of 1-drops, which is really difficult for people to deal with still. Not as many people are playing board wipes right now, like blue-white control is coming out and starting doing more. Which the nice thing is that we can do a lot of damage with just like one Knight of the Even Legion. We don't have to get a lot of creatures out to be putting a lot of pressure on, and so we're not as susceptible to board wipes as a typical aggro or tempo deck is. And so it's been really good. I've been really impressed with this deck. So I hope you guys enjoyed the deck. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm sorry that it's not my typical video, but I hope that this is a good secondary type of style here for you guys, at least to have something. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.